Hello and welcome to this session. In the last few sessions we discussed largely about linear regression. So in this session we will discuss two more types of regression models, that is multiple linear regression and polynomial regression. We will also see some problems with respect to this. So coming to what is multiple linear regression, so basically as the word itself says, it's a multiple linear regression. That means it's an extension of linear regression. So here we will have the differences. We will have multiple predictors or independent variables, but we will have just one dependent variable. Okay, so we will have multiple independent variables and one dependent variable, but the basic assumption here is the independent variables are not highly correlated, and hence multi-collinearity problem will not exist. So they're not very much correlated to each other. So that is one assumption we are taking, and we are also assuming that the residuants are normally distributed. So that means we are going to have a normal distribution. It's an assumption. So let's see this mathematically. So the multiple regression for two variables, let's say x1 and x2 is given here. Okay, so y is equal to f of x1 and x2. So how do you write the multiple regression for these variables is y is equal to a0 plus a1 x1 plus a2 x2. So this is how you write the equation for a multiple regression model, linear regression model. So this is still linear. So only difference is we have more independent variables, which is x1 and x2, and y is the dependent variable. So this is a general equation. Suppose I have n independent variables, then y is equal to f of x1, x2, x3 up to xn. So in the form of equation you can write it as a0 plus a1 x1 plus a2 x2 up to an xn plus some epsilon, which can be a constant. So here x1, x2 up to xn, these are nothing but your predictor variables or your independent variables, and y is your dependent variable. Whereas a0, a1 up to an, they are the coefficients of the regression equation, and epsilon is the error term. So any kind of error that would be represented by epsilon. Now coming to the next one, polynomial regression. So as the word itself says, this is no longer linear, right? So that means the relationship between dependent and independent variables is no longer linear. You do not have a linear relationship. So suppose you plot x and y, you will not get a linear graph here. So you cannot use most of the solutions that I used earlier in the earlier problems, earlier videos. You cannot use the same kind of solutions here if you want to solve problems with respect to polynomial regression. So then how do you solve problems with respect to polynomial regression is, there are two kinds of solution. Either you transform your non-linear data to a linear data, that is one solution, or you have to go for your polynomial regression method. So let's see how we can do the first one. How can we transform a non-linear data to linear data? Suppose, let's say I have a non-linear data like this, represented in the form of an exponent y is equal to ae to the power of bx. So let's say this is the polynomial equation that I have. So to transform this into linear, it's very simple. Just apply log on both sides. So if I apply log on both sides, I will get natural logarithm of y is equal to bx plus ln of a. Similarly, suppose I have another equation which is like this, y is equal to ax power of b. This is not exponential equation, but this is still a polynomial equation. It's a power function. So similarly, just if I have a equation like this, again to transform it into linear data, just apply log on both sides. So log y is equal to, if you apply log to this, it becomes b log x plus log a. So as you can see here, this equation and this equation, they both are linear. So you have successfully transformed a polynomial equation into a linear equation by just applying log. So once you have done the transformation, you can carry on with your earlier way of performing the linear regression. And once you performed it, finally, after the results are obtained, you do the inverse to get back the desired result, because we have done the log. So at the end, after you get the results, you have to do the anti-log. So that is one method. The second one is you go for a polynomial regression method. So basically in polynomial regression, it's a method where we are able to handle the non-linear relationships among the variables. So suppose I have a polynomial, it can be polynomial up to any degree, nth degree. But normally we deal with non-linearity of up to quadratic of cubic. So this is the quadratic degree polynomial. Quadratic means you have the degree up to 2. So y is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square. So the degree is 2. This is a quadratic polynomial. You can also have, you can solve cubic polynomials very easily where the degree is 3. What you have to note here is when you are applying polynomial regression, it's good only if you go up to 4th degree. So polynomials of degrees more than 4 will have a lot of strange shapes, right, between the dependent variables and the independent variable, and it can lead to overfitting issues. So when you are working on polynomial regression models, quadratic, cubic, or up to 4th degree polynomial is best suited. So let's do a problem on multiple regression. So this is a given question. Apply the multiple regression for the values which is given here in the table. So this table is given here where weekly sales along with the sales for products x1 and x2 are provided. So in x1 you have product 1 sales, in x2 you have the product 2 sales. So this is the sales of product 1, x2 is the sales of product 2. Now, and y is the weekly sales in thousands. Okay, this is the output. So in the question they have told us to use matrix approach for applying the multiple regression. So this is the same question which is repeated here. This is the sales of product 1, this is the sales of product 2, x1, x2, which are the independent variables, and the dependent variable is y, which is telling us what is the weekly sales of both the products combined, which is in thousands. So now we have to use a matrix approach. So we have discussed about matrix approach in the previous session. The link is given in the description box, so refer to that. So according to the previous discussion, when we are solving problems with respect to regression matrix approach, the formula was like this. We were able to find the coefficients a cap as using this equation. So this equation is basically a regression coefficient equation. Though this is a multiple regression problem, we can still use the same linear regression method for solving this problem. Okay, so the formula is a cap is equal to x transpose x whole inverse into x transpose into y. So this one formula, if you remember, you can solve this problem very easily. So as discussed, now we have to first find out what is x and y. So x here is the only difference as compared to the previous problem. I have given the link in the description description box. The only difference is now our x will have two extra columns. Okay, that's the only difference. So let's form x. As we have discussed in the previous session, the x matrix will always, as the first column values will be 1. Next column you take the x1 sales, in the third column you take the x2 sales. So this is our x matrix. Y is this 1, 6, 8, 12. So we have to find a coefficient matrix. So coefficient matrix is nothing but we have 4 terms. So coefficient matrix will be n minus 1, 4 minus 1. Therefore you will have 3 coefficients, a0, a1 up to a2. Okay, so this is our coefficient matrix. Now let's solve this equation. Okay, so according to this equation, first let's find x transpose x. Next we will find the inverse of x transpose x. Then we will multiply that with x transpose. Then the whole thing we are going to multiply with y. Finally you're going to get a. So one thing you have to notice, this will take a lot of time, so better you use your calculator which can do matrix operations. That will make your work easier. So let's find first x transpose x. This is the x which we saw. This is a transpose of x, multiply these two. So when you multiply, this is the answer. 1 is the x transpose x. Now you have to find the inverse of this. You can use a calculator to make it faster. X transpose x inverse is this. This is the inverse. Now x transpose x inverse is multiplied with x transpose. So this is the inverse which I am multiplying with x transpose. So when I multiply, this is the answer I am getting. Okay, now I have got x transpose x inverse x transpose, multiply that with y. So this is the first one, this is y. So this is a 3 cross 4 matrix, this is a 4 cross 1 matrix. So therefore finally our answer would be a 3 cross 1 matrix, 3 rows 1 column. So this is our basically nothing but our coefficient matrix. So this is a0, this is a1, this is a2. So now this was in fractions, I put in decimals here. So a cap is nothing but your coefficient matrix. So where a0 is minus 1.69, a1 is 3.48 and a2 is minus 0.05. So finally give the conclusion that the constructed multiple linear regression model, see this is still linear. That's the only thing, is it's a multiple linear regression model because we have more independent variables. So it is y is equal to a0 plus a1 x1 plus a2 x2, where a0 is minus 1.69, a1 is 3.48, and a2 is minus 0.05. So this is our final constructed model. Okay, so one thing remember students, if you're doing this in the exam, you need to use your calcs. Thank you so much, and let's meet in the next session.